couple of facts that you need to remember here to start with. First of all, when we write something like the square root of 25, we can also write that as 25 to the power a half. And if we have something like, let's say 8 to the power 4/3, what that means is that we have to find the cube root of 8 and then write it to the power 4. So the bottom of the fraction tells you what sort of root to find, and the top tells you what sort of power you need. Okay, so first of all, we are told that x is 9 times 10 to the power 2m. Oh yes, another thing you need to realize is that if you've got something like a times b to the power n, then actually that's the same as a to the power n times b to the power n, etc. So if you've got something like 2x in a bracket cubed, then you've got to do 2 cubed times x cubed, which is actually 8x cubed. Okay, so over here we've got 9 times 2 to the m, that is what we're calling x, and we're asked to find the square root of x. So the square root of x is going to be the square root of 9 times 10 to the power 2m. Now I'm going to rewrite that. Well, here we could do a to the power, so we've got something times something to the power something. We can do the powers individually, but we can also square root individually. So it becomes the square root of 9 times the square root of 10 to the power 2m. Now the square root of 9 is easy, that's just 3. Let's have a think about how we can simplify this. Well, we can rewrite it just in the same way that we can write the square root of 25 as 25 to the power half. We can write this as 10 to the power 2m to the power a half. And now we can use the laws of indices, because the laws of indices say if you've got something like x cubed to the power 4, then you can rewrite that as x to the power 3 times 4, or x to the power 12. So here we have got 10, and then we can multiply together these two powers. So 2m multiplied by a half, 2 times a half is 1, that becomes m. So in standard form, we've got 3 times 10 to the power m. Right, second part, we are told that y is 9 times 10 to the power 2n. And we've got to find y to the power 3 over 2. So that's this expression to the power 3 over 2. Now again, I can use this property up here to split this into 9 to the power 3 over 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 2n to the power 3 over 2. Now, 9 to the power of 3 over 2, if we look at that, it means we need to find the square root of 9 and then cube it. Now, the square root of 9 is 3, and 3 cubed is 27. Okay, now in the same way as before, we've got now 10 to the power, and we need to multiply these two together. And if you do 2n times 3 over 2, well, that's just 6n over 2, which is 3n. Unfortunately, though, we're told that we have to give our answer in standard form. And this is not in standard form because 27 is too big. Remember, this number's got to be between 1 and 10. So I'm going to write 2.7. I'm going to put a decimal point in there to make it 2.7. Now, because I've divided here by 10, I need to compensate there by multiplying the 10 to the power 3n. I have to multiply that by 10. Now, if you've got something like 10 to the power 5, if you multiply that by 10, the power goes up 1, and it becomes 10 to the power 6. And here then, I'm going to increase the power by 1, so it becomes 10 to the power 3n plus 1. So I'll just write that again. So the final answer is 2.7 times 10 to the power 3n plus 1.